Now, I just saw something on Fox. But let me tell you a little story. Snerdley came in here today. He and I have had a back and forth over Mitch McConnell, whether McConnell's going to cave on Obama's Supreme Court choice to replace Scalia. And I told Snerdley what I've told everybody. When McConnell first spoke up about this, he said, should not. Obama should not. And we should not, meaning the Senate, confirm anybody given the presidential year. And I pointed, he did not say would not. He said should not. That's Republican establishment wiggle room. And Snerdley, who so desperately wants to believe, like many of you probably, so desperately want to believe that something will give these people backbone. And it may be the Supreme Court that does it. So desperate. So Snerdley has been constantly singing Mitch McConnell's praises to me. So he walks in here today. I got to tell you, Rush, Mitch is hanging tough out there. He's hanging tough. He said there aren't going to be any hearings. And I said, yeah. But what did Grassley say? Snerdley says, well, I haven't heard of him. Grassley hasn't said anything in a while. Okay, so that's about a half hour for the program. Well, during the break, while I was putting myself back together from my emotional distress listening to Chelsea, I saw a little graphic on TV that said that Chuck Grassley has decided to invoke the Biden rules and there will not be any hearings on a nomination that Obama might put forth. And I said, hallelujah. Now, that's just today. We're talking about the establishment, rhino Republicans in many cases. It could change tomorrow. But it's clever. Grassley actually said he's invoking the Biden rules. What are the Biden rules? Well, it's very simple. Audio soundbite number 6, June 25th, 1992 in Washington on the Senate floor. Here's Senator Biden saying that President George H.W. Bush should not appoint a Supreme Court justice in an election year.
It is my view that if the president goes the way of Presidents Fillmore and Johnson and presses an election year nomination, the Senate Judiciary Committee should seriously consider not scheduling confirmation hearings on the nomination until after the political campaign season is over. It would be our pragmatic conclusion that once the political season is underway, and it is, action on a Supreme Court nomination must be put off until after the election campaign is over. That is what is fair to the nominee and essential to the process. Otherwise, it seems to me, Mr. President, we will be in deep trouble as an institution.
Right. We'll be in deep trouble as an institution. What deep trouble? Anyway, what's going on here? It's George H.W. Bush's last year, and the Democrats, political animals that they are intimidating and trying to bully 41 in and nominating nobody for a Supreme Court vacancy in his final year for all the reasons that you heard Biden enunciate there. And Grassley today said, hey, you know what? It sounded good to me. I'm going to invoke the Biden rules. Now, there probably aren't any Biden rules formally established. He's just referring to this soundbite as the Biden rules. Now, I pointed out way back, in fact, let's go back February 15th, about 8 days on this program, when we first learned of the death of Scalia and the Democrats saying we cannot let this election year stop us from making nominations. And everybody pointed out how Schumer and all these other Democrats, including Obama, had said that during an election year, presidents last year in office, they should not nominate Supreme Court justices, shouldn't have Democrats on the record. It was blatant hypocrisy. And I reminded everybody that it doesn't matter. It's not, you can't humiliate them. You can't embarrass them. You can point out their hypocrisy all day long, and it's not going to have one iota impact. Here is audio soundbite number 4. This is exactly what I said. Pointing out what Chuck Schumer said back in 2007 and saying that the Democrats, to be consistent, ought to be saying that Obama shouldn't be appointing justices. Are you kidding me? So you go to Chuck Schumer, hey, Chuck, you're being a little hypocritical. You think Obama should be able to appoint a justice right here, right now. But in 2007, you said Bush shouldn't. Different circumstance, you'll say. Iraq war, massively unpopular president. The polls were in. The country hated George Bush. The country hated everything George Bush was doing. But Obama is beloved, and Obama is still loved and adored and supported and so forth. And it's not the same thing. And he'll tell you he's not being a hypocrite, that he's putting the country first. And you'll be left with, What did he just say? That's what he's going to do. That's what they'll all do. They're not going to let hypocrisy trap them. You can point it out all day long. It's not going to be of any value whatsoever in this fight. Pointing out Democrat hypocrisy never had. Republicans get hoisted on their own petard with it. That's part of the double standard. Pointing out hypocrisy on the Republicans can nail them, but not the Democrats. It's just the way it is. Okay, so Schumer and now Biden, and there have been many others who have blatantly directly contradicted themselves on this. And Schumer was asked about it. Yesterday in Washington, on Capitol Hill, he was speaking to reporters about the Supreme Court vacancy. And then Biden's call not to approve any nominees during a presidential election. People had unearthed that. So a reporter says, so, Senator Schumer, do you think Biden's 1992 remarks are damaging to your argument?
No. Look, the simple answer to this, which everyone is saying everywhere, is do your job. It doesn't matter what people said in the past.
What about what you said?
We should do our job.
It doesn't matter what we said in the past. What we said in the past was about that moment, and this is now. That was then, and we're going to get what we want whenever it is. Whatever year, we're going to get what we want. We got a Democrat president. We got a chance to own the Supreme Court for 25 years, and snooker you can schlong you people left and right for 25 years, so we're going to do it. But what about what you said back in... Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We got to do our jobs. So I'm telling you, the hypocrisy argument, don't rely on it to stop them. It isn't going to stop. And it's not going to persuade people to abandon the Democrats. You can't embarrass their supporters to abandon them. It just isn't going to happen.